Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to be doing something a little bit different from the usuals, which is a reaction video. As you all might already know, Apple event was held on the May 7th and it got everyone talking. So I don't know anything about what they've released because I decided not to, because I want to make this video for you guys. So this is my first through honest reaction on their products release. Yes, I'm going to react, but not to Apple's own boring videos. I'm going to react to something more interesting, and what is more interesting than a Mrwhosetheboss actual video. So without further ado, I'll stop blabbing and let's get right into the video, guys.
Before iPad Pros, they've had a pretty fake redesign. They are shockingly, almost concerningly thin. They have a new chip, they have new display, new accessories. Long story short, these are the highest end, probably the most expensive tablets in the world. I just spec'd mine out over here and it is coming to £2,877, which if you convert that to dollars is like
$3,600. This video I haven't gotten anywhere, but Charlie, I'm tired already.
I mean, that is just an obscene amount to pay for a tablet. But I am sitting here right now hovering over the buy button, and I wanted to make a video about this because when I woke up today, I did not expect to be in this position. I'm an iPad guy. I use a smartphone, a smartwatch, a smart fridge, a smart air purifier. Hell, I even use a smart toothbrush. The one thing that I've really struggled to grasp is tablets. Because when I first started this channel, tablets were awesome. Phones were tiny, so there was a real need for size. Tablets had better quad-core processors and significantly more advanced software compared to those simple phones.
Makes sense.
Their screens doubled in size, they got a lot faster, they could handle multiple tasks at once, and as soon as that happened, the whole appeal of an iPad or an Android tablet evaporated for me.
You see, this is why I love Mrwhosetheboss. Details. Let's continue, guys.
Like, why take around something that does what a phone does, but needs a laptop's worth of space without being able to do what a laptop does? That's the exact reason why in the 2015-2016 era, there was a massive drop-off in general tablet interest. And then, why am I sitting here right now? Like,
why are you sitting there right now? You're actually one of the most biggest hypocrite.
That's what I want to explain. For starters, unexpected this thing to be fair. I mean, watching the Apple keynote, they didn't exactly hype it back, but the 11-inch iPad Pro is just 5.3 millimeters, and the 13-inch is just 5.1 millimeters, and therefore Apple's thinnest device ever. But even then, when I picked it up for the first time and I turned it around in my
point,
it still feels absolutely insane that I'm
5.1 millimeters, sorry, is very thin. Very thinner than the iPod. Thinner than the iPod because the iPod is around 5.4 millimeters, I think. If you know, the iPod is this thin right here, so yeah, so it's very thin.
Me always wherever I go. I found that no matter how much I do love my laptop and my phone, there's times when you just want to bright on a big screen. You know, sometimes you want to plan out a YouTube thumbnail before you take it. We've actually been planning out what our future studio is going to look like when we move home. Sometimes you just want to
That's great.
From ideas or draw up concepts for a product. It all needs a pen. And this thing, this black and white 10-inch e-ink tablet that does, well, basically one thing, this is just over 400 grams. So I'm thinking, damn, I mean, I don't even normally care too much about the weight of stuff. I pretty much always buy the Plus, the Max, the biggest gadget you can get. And to be honest, it is also so slim and that it is a bit concerning. I feel like we've been here with the iPhone 6 in 2014 and we all know how that turned out. I get it here. I think for something like this, much more than on a phone, it's important to be this weightless because this 13-inch iPad Pro is just light enough. And I say just because it is on the line, and after about 20 minutes I was feeling it. But for me, I can just about comfortably hold it with one hand and write with the other.
How do you hold $3,600 with one hand? Bro, if I was the one, I would literally hold with two of my hands and two of my legs all together at the same time. Bro.
So this is starting to feel like it could perfectly slot into my life instead of this, but just with the perks of being able to do a lot more to, like, for example, potentially replace my laptop.
Cap.
I can't quite believe I'm saying this, because trust me when I say, I love my MacBook. I take this thing even if I'm leaving home for like 30 minutes. My family is mildly concerned that I will still be using this in one arm.
Yes, you will be. You will be. Yes, you will be using your laptop. Because I don't think the iPad is going to be so good in which you're going to ditch your laptop, because yes, it has an M4 chip, bruh, really.
When I use this new iPad and the new Pro Pencil and the new Magic Keyboard all together, this first time since like 2013 that it really felt to me like tablets are not just big phones, that their capability feels like it has reached a tipping point, at which point I am actually
Making
if I even need this.
you need it.
This is the new Magic Keyboard, and while I know it might look like one of those cheap Amazon folio cases from the outside, using it is actually crazily similar to using a Mac. So on the inside there's a metal finish half, the trackpad is bigger, this is a trackpad, and if you plug it up,
Whoa, that keyboard is slick. Don't get me wrong, that keyboard is so slick.
so you can use the other USB port on the iPad itself. What was very cool to me is that the second you snap the iPhone into the case, it also controls like that. It's like every bit of muscle memory that I've had from years.
You see, this is why we all love iPhone. iPhone hits the details, the simple details. But in doing that, they lock us into their ecosystem because that's all they want. You should sue them for that, because my country, we can't do anything. So
Yes, I'm using a MacBook. Fold translates perfectly. The swiping gestures, the quick shortcuts. You can also just hold the command key at any time to see all the shortcuts available within any app you're using. But even the quick functions like brightness control, volume control, the search bar. I'm so surprised by how usable the iPad is without even touching the screen. Also, the hinge. Now, there's obviously no way that you're going to be able to get a laptop quality hinge like this fitted into a thin iPad case.
exactly.
Because the new iPad basically weighs nothing.
Oh, that hand was beautiful.
Usable in a car or on that. But my first impression from actually typing on it is actually way more solid than it looks.
Somebody gave me the iPad keyboard because this is beautiful.
And the hinge doesn't go all the way back, it locks around here. And the main one actually is that this thing's £350 here in the UK, and it doesn't seem like the iPad Pro works with any other Magic Keyboard, so you have to buy the new one. And then there's also this new Apple Pencil Pro.
Before we move to the pencil, the Apple keyboard is $350. Bro, my phone literally doesn't weigh that. My phone literally doesn't weigh $350, bro.
Which has its own perks compared to the normal Apple Pencil. I do find it so funny the way they talk about all their products. I'm pretty sure they introduced this with, it takes the pencil experience to a whole new level. Apple Pencil Pro. It takes the pencil experience to
a whole new level.
Now, in my brief time with it, I did find it a little bit fiddly. Like, there's quite a few times where I misattached it and therefore dropped it, and we had a couple of pairing issues too, so not a brilliant verb to broken. But then when it's actually in use and it works, it is very interesting. There's some new stuff here that I'm not too bothered about, like barrel roll, which thanks to new gyro sensors can allow you to rotate your pencil, just like using a real pencil and using different parts of the nibs with different thicknesses. But then on the other hand, the fact that you can now just squeeze it to bring up your menu, that's awesome. That's going to save you a lot of time because the old pencil didn't have
Beautiful
buttons, so your thumb had nothing to do. It was like a lost function. The fact that there's now a vibration motor inside, which creates this satisfying little snap when you're doing things.
And whoa, that means there's not a haptic response, right? So it literally means when you are holding the pencil, you are using the pencil, when you select something, you will get response. Shh. We'll get back into the video.
Added to find by is to use it. That's pretty unpleasant because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose it. So it looks like a laptop, but does it run like a laptop? Well, Apple didn't actually.
Okay, so if you didn't understand that last part, that's the most impressive thing I've heard so far, because the Apple Pencil is something that can be lost very easily. So I didn't need to find mine isn't bad at all, because I can be able to find it whenever I lose it. Not that I have it, not that I can buy it. I'm saying it for you guys that probably can afford a him. Thank you.
Actually just kit this new iPad Pro out with the same M3 chip that you get on the latest MacBook Airs. They actually went one further and announced a whole new generation M4 chip that goes in here. How much faster is it than M3? I couldn't really tell you, to be honest. The way that Apple talks about performance jumps is actually really annoying, because sometimes they compare to M3, sometimes they compare to M2, sometimes they compare to M1, and they'll always give you numbers based on really niche use cases as opposed to the more general ones that would matter to all users, like app opening speeds. But I think the high-level takeaway should be probably not a massive jump from M3, but because the iPad hasn't actually been updated since the M2 chip, and because this new iPad has better thermal design that can keep temperatures more under control, actually pretty huge. And it's going to be a lot faster than like Samsung's current tablets. They're still using phone chips, which is one of the key reasons that I've been hesitating moving to one of those. We should get one thing clear. This is only about 50% as powerful as my MacBook Pro. And if you're actually going to kit it out with the pencil and the keyboard and it.
Android, Samsung. Why do you let these people cook you so bad? They've just cooked Samsung over here.
Everything, then you're actually paying a lot more per unit of performance than you do on Mac. And it isn't even going to do 100% of what a Mac can do, because iPad OS, which is based on iOS, is designed to be simpler. But the way that I start to see this is, I mean, as soon as something like this can do the things that normally require this, surely it's an absolute no-brainer to be doing those things on the iPad. And for my uses, I feel like today might be the day where we've just reached that level. I mean, if I can swap both my massive, very heavy laptop and my remarkable tablet for just one iPad in totality, that would change my life.
Fair deal. I think that's a fair deal.
I feel like in a lot of ways, the iPad can actually do things.
But for $3,600, yeah, I don't think so.
So part mobile apps are a lot better designed than computer apps, like games. I mean, gaming on a Mac kind of sucks, and I genuinely think I'll get a lot more gaming utility from this ironically less powerful device than I do my current specs, the Mac's MacBook, just because iOS and iPad OS, they're built for games. But also, even bigger picture, I just feel like a lot of mobile apps are way better designed than their laptop alternatives. Like mobile photo editing is now so good that half the time I'm actually sending stuff from my laptop to my phone to make edits. And it's not just cute little phone apps on the iPad. I was literally today using the exact same Pixelmator app that I currently use on my Mac. It didn't seem like any function was missing or cut back, and every single command.
This I'll testify to, because editing on your phone right now is so freaking easy that you don't actually need your laptop to do everything. Imagine, say CapCut. Almost everybody I've seen on TikTok right now are those CapCut gurus. They actually don't use Premiere Pro or anything, but Premiere Pro is not good CapCut side, so respect. Okay, back to the video.
And the instant on my Mac was also instant on the iPad. The only times I noticed a difference were when there were super intense things that required loading bars, and then those loading bars did last about 50% longer on the iPad. But yeah, like we're currently in the process of planning out our smart future home, and everything is controlled by apps. It's all designed to work off, well, basically iPads, because times have changed. 10 years ago, we were living in a PC-first world, and swapping your laptop for an iPad, it would be seen as a move only filthy casuals would make. But I'm starting to feel pretty strongly like that's not the case anymore. I mean, now, services are often designed primarily with the app in mind first, and because the apps are designed around phone touchscreens and phone hardware, more often than not, I find them way more intuitive and optimized. Tell me if you feel the same, but I always feel way better when a product tells me to use their app than when they direct me to a website. And so,
makes sense.
The biggest, most powerful form that you can experience those optimized apps in is becoming way more appealing to me. So then I'm thinking, okay, what else do I do on my laptop that I might struggle with here? Google Docs. But that's actually better on iPad because you can actually browse all your stuff even while offline, which you can't do on that. I check draft videos before we post them using this website called Frame.io. It makes it really easy to leave comments at different parts. But then I looked it up and there is a specifically made iPad app for it. And I also still sometimes edit videos. Far less than I used to because thankfully we have some really good editors now. But I still sometimes put together the music for our videos or do some editing for personal stuff. Like we made this video invite for our wedding. It's very cute. But the point is, iPad has Final Cut Pro as well now. They actually just announced Final Cut Pro 2 just for the iPad. I don't actually think it's a Final Cut Pro successor like the name might imply, but it is very much a full video editing experience. I did find it pretty fiddly when trying to use Final Cut with the touchscreen. It just feels like...
If you ever use Final Cut Pro 2 or whatever before, which I have definitely not. I've heard of it, never used it. Final Cut Pro and CapCut, who wins the fight?
Fight!
Anyways, what else you are thinking about that? Let's get back to the video.
Strange intersection that can never really be as efficient as using a precise trackpad. But when I tried it with a keyboard attached, different story. In moments, I actually forgot I was using an iPad. Do you see what I'm saying? It always feels like all the perks of a laptop when you bought one, but combined with all the perks of a mobile when that suits you more. You know, everything being a sleek app instead of a clunky website, which is definitely the way to go for most banking services, social media, Uber, Deliveroo, actually Netflix too. Movies is a massive one, to be honest, because almost all of these video streaming platforms, they are all infinitely better on phones because they actually let you download stuff offline. It all feels a bit silly to me, but essentially because computer OSs are more open, it would be easier to pirate things if you could download offline on there. But on an iPad, well, it kind of gets a free pass because it's still running a mobile operating system. But a mobile operating system with the media experience of a high-end laptop. Oh, we should probably talk about this screen actually. So this is an OLED screen. Well, technically actually it's two OLED screens.
Now we're actually coming to the reason why this is $3,600 because two OLED screens. Do you know how much one OLED costs?
Top of each other to be able to get the deep contrast benefits of OLED, but also the ultra high brightness that Apple wants for HDR. Apple is basically saying that this is the best screen they've ever made for a consumer device. They're calling it.
That's always what they will say. Why you want them to say this is the worst screen? I beg, who does that? Who does that?
The Ultra Retina XDR display, and it looks, unsurprisingly, very good. The contrast is the biggest thing that I notice. Like, when you're watching stuff with blacks, those blacks are so deep, it's like you're staring at
blah 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 blah. Still know what $3,600 is.
Because you don't expect a screen this good on a device so thin. Like, if you ordered a monitor for your computer and it was this thin, you would already be in awe. And yet, this isn't just your monitor, this is your full-on computer, it's your camera, it's your touchscreen. It's kind of crazy. Now, they've also added in the option for a nano texture screen, which they're saying scatters the ambient light to reduce glare, but also without any reduction in brightness. It definitely seems to work as advertised, and it might actually solve the MacBook's visibility issues. But this is also how the cost starts to rack up. This is how I got where I ended up, because you basically have to spend a minimum of $2,000 to get a nano coating on your 13-inch iPad. Also, one thing, Apple didn't mention battery life at all during the presentation. Their site says that the new one has about the same battery life as the old one, but given that we've now got two panels firing at the same time, it's definitely something that I want to keep a very close eye on while I'm testing. And then the final sort of extra perks,
nobody says what is wrong about their product. And that's simply what Apple is doing. Apple always glazes us every time. And bro, Apple is so good at PR. So good at PR that nobody even catches them off guard.
Cameras are, while not the priority, definitely better on the iPad than even the top-end MacBook Pros. A, because you actually get a camera on the back, which, I mean, you obviously don't. Yes. Although it is weird that they've removed the second wide camera that they used to give you on the back on the last iPad Pros. And then B, for the front, it's an ultra-wide camera that's now on the horizontal bezel, so it keeps you centralized and can also use something called center stage when you're on calls to keep you in the middle even as you move around the room. Also, just thinking, iPads can have cellular. Like, what if instead of worrying about Wi-Fi all the time, my main computer is permanently connected with its own internet connection? I'm not particularly keen on paying a whole extra monthly contract, but it's a tantalizing idea. And then also, just like the Mac, iPads can also hook up to SD card readers, SSD storage drives, even going into bigger monitors for when I'm docked into my desk at home, with a whole system called Stage Manager that's kind of designed for big screen multitasking. So honestly, you could probably tell.
Samsung has all this. All this. The only thing I think Samsung is lacking is that PR intelligence and how to make things better than Apple.
A very excited man right now. Like, this could be one of the most freeing tech decisions I've ever made, and it's also making me quite excited for WWDC because they talked a lot about AI during this presentation, but they didn't really show a lot of AI things, so I felt like that would be that. But this could also be a big mistake, because, I mean, is this going to be fast enough to do all those things I normally do without the...
So can we call that scam? Can we say Apple as scammers? Because I think, no. Actually, these are not my words. Conjuring will see. Back to the video.
Feeling sluggish or fiddly. Is the iPad going to force me to switch my phone over from a Samsung to an iPhone because it doesn't have many ports and I'm going to have to rely on more wireless proprietary AirDrop stuff? There's the fact that, let's be honest, Apple doesn't want you to buy an iPad instead of a Mac. They want you to buy both. So in what ways is the iPad artificially limited so that it doesn't cross over with the Mac too much? The file system, the one major remaining advantage that I feel like PC still has is that it's designed for granular organization of the files. I need to find out if I can actually have that same control or find a way around it. And then finally, what I'm going to do about storage. The iPad Pro goes up to 2 terabytes, which is great, but I'm an 8 terabyte kind of guy on my MacBook. So am I going to need to start subscribing to iCloud, become better at managing my files, or just keep a small storage drive that I plug in every now and again? I have no idea yet. But if you want to see what my experience is like with the iPad, subscribe to help us overtake Apple. We are very, very close, and make me glad.
The video is over already and I've had so much fun. I know you also have had so much fun. That is why I picked Mrwhosetheboss, because who makes more interesting videos. I hope you've learned a lot. It's not worth $3,600. The most exciting thing about this probably is the pencil, the Apple Pencil, because of the Find My that is being placed on it, so that you can find your Apple Pencil that you bought with your own money when it gets missing. The remaining things I can't say anything about them. Is it really worth $3,000? If you have the money, it's your money. Of course, you can buy anything you want to buy. But don't worry. I will buy it first and then I will come and show it to you guys over here. Probably after selling one kidney and my phones and all my properties. Yes, I'm going to buy iPad Pro. If you guys like this video, I'm Zenon. Thank you for watching. Thank you for reacting with Mrwhosetheboss video with me, and I'll see you in the next video.